Mjolnir is one of the most powerful weapons in all of fiction. Thor's warhammer, which is made from an incredibly tough Asgardian metal called Uru and was forged in the heart of a dying star, channels and augments Thor's already incredible strength and grants him an abundance of additional abilities, such as creating force fields, manipulating molecules, and time travel. It requires its wielder to prove him or herself worthy of wielding it, but there isn't only Thor who has proven himself so. Thor's ancestry, the likes of Odin and Thor, can seemingly wield it by default, but many other characters have lifted it too. In this video, we'll take a look at 25 of those characters. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of Screen Rant's great new videos. The first character in our video is Eric Masterson. He's a little different to the others on this list, as he proved himself able to wield Mjolnir in 1989's Thor number 408, just before the villainous mongoose struck him with a fatal blow. Thor pleaded with Odin, who recognized the construction workers' intrinsic decency to spare Eric's life, so the Allfather merged him with his son. This allowed Thor to use Masterson's identity as his civilian alter ego when he wasn't flying around saving the universe. In 1983's The Mighty Thor number 337, Beta Ray Bill proved himself worthy of wielding Mjolnir. In their first meeting, Bill believed Thor was a demon who had been harassing his people, so the two fought. And when Thor dropped his hammer, Bill casually picked it up and began using it as a weapon. He has since been given his own enchanted Asgardian weapon, Stormbreaker. While the Destroyer armor isn't actually a character per se, it is indeed an entity unto itself, so we've deemed it worthy of being on this list. Although it was created by Odin, it's done a lot more harm than good over the years, having been regularly used by Loki to do his evil bidding. But given that it's merely an empty suit of armor, it negates Mjolnir's enchantment, allowing it to wield it, which it has done on a number of occasions. In 1983's What If Volume 1, number 39, Conan the Barbarian was able to lift Thor's hammer. Thanks to Loki, Thor ended up in Conan's land, Hyboria, with a severe case of amnesia. The pair became friends, but Thor was ultimately killed in a fight with the villainous Toph Amon. So he handed Mjolnir to Conan as he lay dying. Conan went on to use it to become a god. Captain America is generally depicted as one of the most wholesome and courageous heroes in all of fiction, so it shouldn't surprise anyone that he's lifted Mjolnir on multiple occasions. In 1988's The Mighty Thor number 390, 2011's Fear Itself number 7, and 2017's Secret Empire number 10, for example, each of which occurred when Thor either dropped it during battle or was otherwise incapacitated. Of course, in 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, he managed to budge it slightly when he attempted to lift it, but ultimately failed. Dan Slott's She-Hulk run saw the previously brainless construct Awesome Android upgraded to become Awesome Andy, an android who could copy the personality traits from other characters. In 2006's She-Hulk Volume 2, number 14, he copied Thor's nobility and was able to wield Mjolnir as a result, and it looked tiny in his massive hands. Wonder Man may be a hero, but he has flirted with villainy on a number of occasions, which makes the fact he has wielded Mjolnir a little bit strange. In fact, in 1990's Marvel Comics Presents number 45, he actively summoned it to his side, making him one of the only characters other than Thor to do so. After he had fought back against Enchantress's attempts to use him to destroy the Avengers, he proceeded to use the hammer to defeat the evil sorceress. In 1996's Marvel vs. DC number 2, Thor lost control of Mjolnir after his fight with DC's Captain Marvel. The hammer made its way to Diana, and she was able to wield it easily, augmenting her own already impressive strength with the power of Thor. Superman is another DC character who has lifted Mjolnir. In 2003's JLA/Avengers number 4, in a fight against the cosmic being Krona, he used it to deal a single crippling blow to the villain's high-tech machine. After the battle, however, he found himself unable to lift it. Thor revealed that Odin had lifted the worthiness enchantment temporarily, having sensed that Mjolnir was in good hands with the Man of Steel, but he lacked the true worthiness due to not having the heart of a warrior. Magneto's powers have been shown not to work on Mjolnir in the mainstream Marvel universe, but that's not the case in the Ultimate Universe. In 2008's The Ultimates 3, number 5, the deaths of both Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch prompted the Master of Magnetism to steal Thor's hammer and wield it himself in a fit of grief-fueled rage. He was able to use it to make good on an old threat and reversed Earth's magnetic poles. In 1981's Thor 305, Airwalker wielded Mjolnir, and he used it to beat the hell out of Thor when the pair got into a skirmish. It's unknown whether his ability to wield Mjolnir was because he was a machine or because he used to be a member of the intergalactic peacekeeping force, but he certainly shouldn't have been worthy at the time. Thor was infamously turned into a frog by Loki.
Sorry about that time. I turned you into a frog. It was a wonderful joke.
But there's another frog who has proven himself worthy of wielding Mjolnir. Throg is another former human, but he was permanently changed into a frog named Puddle Gulp. He and his frog pals helped Frog Thor fight some evil rats in Central Park, and when Thor departed and left behind a fragment of his hammer, Puddle Gulp was able to lift it and transformed into Throg. He is now a member of the animal-based Pet Avengers team and can be seen in action starting with 2009's Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers #1. Given the insane nature of Squirrel Girl, is it really a surprise that she can wield Mjolnir? Doreen Green's powers are all squirrel-related, but she has proven herself capable of beating the likes of Dr. Doom, Thanos, and Terex. And in the 2016 standalone story The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Beats Up the Marvel Universe, she used Mjolnir with great expertise, doing things like opening dimensional portals with it. Roger Red Norvell was a member of a film crew making a documentary on Asgard. Loki granted him Thor-like powers in order to compete with the God of Thunder for Sif's affections, and he actually succeeded in claiming Mjolnir for his own in 1978's The Mighty Thor #276. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years, you'll know that none other than Thor's love interest, Jane Foster, who's played by Natalie Portman in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was proven worthy of wielding Mjolnir and actually became Thor back in 2014's Thor #1. The X-Men's Storm was able to wield Mjolnir in 2011's X-Men To Serve and Protect #3, after initially wielding a weapon given to her by Loki in his attempts to take down Thor. The weapon was called Stormcaster, and as a newly powered goddess of thunder, she ended up in a tussle with the Asgardian hero. Instead of actually harming him, however, she took Mjolnir off him and used it to destroy Stormcaster. Another X-Men member, the power-absorbing Rogue, was able to wield Mjolnir in 1994's What If, Rogue possessed the power of Thor. In the What If story, Rogue was actually a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but was able to wield Thor's hammer after absorbing the God of Thunder's power, which doesn't really make much sense when you think about it. In another What If story, 2014's What If Age of Ultron #3, Black Widow was depicted as being worthy of wielding Mjolnir. The Avenger and former spy found Thor's hammer at the scene of his death, and proceeded to lift his amazing weapon, showing that enough heroic acts can wipe out a dark past. When the Ultimate Universe was destroyed during the Secret Wars arc, the Mjolnir of that universe somehow survived and ended up in the main Marvel universe. The usually jovial Volstagg had been driven mad by the deaths of several children at the hands of Surtur and his minions. And in 2017's The Mighty Thor #20, the hammer, which was misbehaving due to being in the wrong universe, called to him and transformed him into the War Thor. Earlier this year, in Thanos #16, the Silver Surfer was revealed to be worthy of wielding Mjolnir. The series saw Thanos killing off everyone in the Marvel Universe, until only one character stood to oppose him. It was none other than Norrin Rad himself, who was also wielding the mighty Warhammer, giving him both the incredibly potent power cosmic and the power of Thor. In 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron movie, the android Avenger known as Vision was able to lift Mjolnir. First, he casually handed it over to Thor without truly realizing what he was doing.
Right.
But he would later wield it in battle against Ultron, and also commented on how terribly well balanced it was.
It's terribly well balanced.
Well, if there's too much weight, you lose power on the swing.
This list would be rather boring if we didn't include a few characters who've lifted Mjolnir in some truly strange circumstances. In 2012's Avengers Assemble #4, for example, the Hulk was mind-controlled by Thanos into attacking Thor. The Green Goliath was able to both deflect Mjolnir and smash Thor in the face with it, but it was while the God of Thunder was still holding onto it. In 2008's Hulk Volume 2 #5, Red Hulk exploited another loophole to lift Mjolnir. Gravity is obviously part of the lifting equation when it comes to wielding the powerful hammer. So, when the Crimson Goliath fought Thor in space, he was able to grab the hammer due to the lack of gravity and use it to pummel him with his own weapon. Deadpool seems like an incredibly unlikely wielder of Mjolnir, but he did so in 1997's Deadpool #37, or so it seemed. The merc with a mouth picked up what looked like Thor's hammer, but Loki had actually made the real one invisible and created a fake that gave Deadpool the illusion of having the God of Thunder's powers. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted. We all remember Loki attempting to lift Mjolnir in 2011's Thor movie, and we've all seen Thor use the God of Mischief's inability to lift it to his advantage on the big screen. But Loki has in fact found ways to lift the hammer in the comics. He magically transformed himself into Thor during 1999's Earth X series, for example, and when Doctor Doom's inversion spell turned heroes into villains and vice versa during 2014's Axis event, Loki suddenly found himself worthy. It's probably worth giving an honorable mention to the Thor Corps, as they could essentially fill a list like this on their own. That would be cheating, however. In 2015's Secret Wars arc, they were created by the then godlike Doctor Doom as a police force made up entirely of different Thors. Countless characters from the Marvel multiverse were reimagined as Thors, such as Dino Thor and Thrut, the god of lumber. They subsequently appeared briefly in their own title, Thors, the same year. And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Can you think of any other characters who lifted Mjolnir? There have certainly been several more. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos just like this one. Bye for now.